Hey everyone, it's Ray from the Teach Better team, and I'm here with Ray from the Teach Better team, and I'm here with Sarah, our amazing host for Mastery Chat. We are about to recap this incredible conversation we just had for the last hour, so we'll be right back to share on all that. Get ready. Oh my goodness, Sarah, I'm so glad that we got to be live together tonight because that chat was on fire. Are you exhausted already?
I mean, I'm really just so grateful that we are finally prioritizing this work, that something that has been so important for so long is now undeniably critical.
Oh, and that was so beautifully said. I cannot wait to get into, if you guys are just tuning in right now and hadn't joined us in the chat, I'm excited to get into what the topic was, everything that Sarah facilitated, and then the incredible discussion we got into. But Sarah, as people are slowly popping in, as they're moving from Twitter and maybe moving on to a Twitter video, which is also a place where we're streaming through Periscope, we're streaming on Facebook, we're on YouTube. As everyone gets settled, would you mind telling us a little about yourself, Sarah? Maybe somebody hasn't connected with you yet and they want to know, what you do in education.
Sure. So I am Sarah Lahane. I am the founder of Move This World. Move This World for 13 years has been strengthening the mental, emotional, and social well-being of pre-K through 12th grade students, educators, and families by building in accessible daily practice to identify, express, and manage our emotions in healthy ways. So recognizing that we all carry a lot of stress, that this work is difficult and exhausting. And if we don't have the tools to be able to manage our stress, to be able to work through challenges and collaborate with our colleagues and work through problems, we will never be able to succeed and thrive in school, at work, or in life.
I feel like everybody, at least for me, having taught all day and everything you just said, I'm like, yes, thank you. So important. Well, and obviously the work that you do has blended into then what your topic you chose for Mastery Chat was tonight. For those of you that missed it, don't forget, you can always pop over to Twitter and just search #Mastery Chat and read all the conversations. It was an hour-long conversation that educators from around the world popped into. Sarah, tell us a little bit, what was this topic for tonight's conversation, and what was your dreams, your aspirations, your hopes in bringing this to the Mastery Chat family?
So the topic for tonight was how to cultivate social emotional learning at home, or what does social emotional wellness look like in the home? Because again, now more than ever, social emotional learning doesn't live in a vacuum. This isn't something that just exists within the walls of a school building or between the hours of 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. We're really constantly engaging in this work and this practice. And because so many of us are working and teaching and learning from home, we need to find creative ways to infuse social emotional practices in these transitional moments, or in these micro moments, or nuggets of experience and content. And whereas before this may have been a little bit more clear cut, it's just a little bit messier now. And so I thought that it was an important opportunity for us to come together as colleagues to brainstorm ways that we're making do, that we're surviving.
Right. And I think that is the most valuable tool we have right now, is our ability to connect with others and discuss. There is not a foolproof system that you find the one strategy and it's like, oh, everything's better, no stress in 2020. The best thing we can do right now is come together and talk. And it really is not only an opportunity for us to grow and develop, but also an opportunity for us to bring that to our students and see those same things in action. So as you were getting into your questions, I actually really loved your first question, if you don't mind that we start there, because Sure. You really didn't start with SEL right off the bat. This was a very well-designed chat. I feel like you're a professional at hosting Twitter chats because it first started with people just celebrating how they manage their well-being, right? That's kind of what the first question asked is people to share kind of their strategies. And there was a lot of strategies that people shared.
Well, I think we can't talk about supporting the social emotional needs of our students if we don't first take care of ourselves. We're just doing the whole thing lip service if we are going to focus on taking care of others, if we haven't first put on our own oxygen mask. We have to make sure that we are the best versions of ourselves, that we are the best friends and colleagues and sisters and brothers and daughters and sons, because if we're not well, we're just not going to be able to show up for others. And I think that that's really hard. We have to it's constant work. We have to constantly remind ourselves, and the best communities are the ones that hold one another accountable, that check in and say, you know, what are you doing to care for yourself, recognizing that this is exhausting and hard, and I want you to be able to sustain, and I don't want you to burn out.
Did you have a strategy that you shared that was something that you do for yourself personally?
So I have a couple strategies that are critical for me and my very young family. One is morning exercise. I have to move my body and sweat. And I noticed that a lot of folks mentioned exercise and movement.
That's true. I saw a lot of like exercise, but also that kind of bleeds into, I saw a lot of like morning routines, like whether it was to sweat and work out or get up and meditate or read. It was like people are very focused on getting their morning started right, which I thought was beautiful to see.
Yes. And I think that's so important because, you know, how we start our day sets the tone for everything. And getting that workout or getting that self-care out of the way means that you've done the most important thing you could do all day, which is take care of yourself. The other important ritual for me is a creative writing morning meditation. It's from The Artist's Way. If you're interested in checking out Julia Cameron's work, I highly recommend her process. It's a 12-week creative process. And then the key daily practice or morning pages, and then a weekly artist date. And it's an opportunity to excavate noise in your mind, clear your internal cache so that you can go forward in your day with renewed energy and openness. And then the weekly artist date is really about a solitude experience. It could be going for a walk. It could be scrapbooking. It could be listening to music by yourself, but really celebrating time alone in your own creative senses.
Cool. Oh my gosh. What was that tool again? I want to make sure if people want to catch that, they can obviously rewatch this video and rewind and write all those things down. But if they want to catch it right now when we're live right here.
It's called The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. And there's a whole 12-week program. I feel like it changed my life and gave me permission to focus on and prioritize my own creative identity, which I think if I didn't do that, move this world, we wouldn't exist. So I highly recommend it to anyone who's feeling burnt out or exhausted, and especially during this pandemic when we're looking for moments of inspiration and joy.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? So besides obviously morning routines and things like that, I just loved the first question kind of like flooding our Twitter feed for Mastery Chat right off the bat with a lot of positive skills, positive choices we're making for ourselves. I thought that was really, really great. Somebody did just share the link for that, which was so awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for doing that. Sounds like a great resource. Sarah, I won't lie, I feel like I kind of cheated on question 1 because I had just gotten home from work. I taught all day in our hybrid setting, and I really just needed some puppy time. So I literally, while tweeting, snapped a photo of the dog and sent puppy time as my answer for how I manage my well-being. So I feel like I cheated, but it was totally
that is not cheating at all. I think puppy time, baby time, whatever makes you feel warm and comforted is valid.
I love it. Well, in addition to that, Sarah, then you really got into like the meat and potatoes of the chat, because every question would kind of build on itself, and it really focused obviously on SEL. And what I really appreciated personally as a classroom teacher, this chat gave me a lot of ideas for what I can do right now in my classroom versus talking about strategies that are a little far away. It's going to take me a lot of time to figure out how to do that. These are super relevant. So I really loved how this was designed. Was there any question that you asked that either you were surprised by the responses, or maybe while drafting the question, you were like, I'm excited to see what comes out of this one? Any questions specifically?
Yeah, well, there was a response. Someone mentioned the tool of using audio content, storytelling, and opportunities to engage specifically with stories as moments for students to open their eyes and try on new perspectives. And that was exciting for me because at Move This World, we recently launched an audio network just last month that anyone can check out anywhere you find podcasts. The Emotion Motion podcast is a storytelling experience for children using music and movement. It's participatory. It's certainly not one-directional content to get children to explore their own social emotional state and the social emotional needs of the people around them through stories and as a screen-free experience. So I was so excited that someone said that, because that's something that we just launched, and anyone can engage in this content wherever you find podcasts. And we also launched another podcast to support practitioners in social emotional learning called the Sarah Cast, Conversations in Social Emotional Learning. So those two pieces I was really excited to see. And then the other was someone mentioned specific ways to engage families in social emotional learning, and providing like a list of questions for parents to ask their students about their week. And I just thought, as a parent, that was sounds so fun, almost like a scavenger hunt or turning it into a game. And I think that families are really hungry for creative modalities and tools to engage with their children in unique ways. So thank you to whomever offered that suggestion. That's something exciting that I would like to try in my family.
Oh gosh. And guys, I'm telling you, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, I just am writing down all these strategies that Sarah is sharing. I love this, feel this energy, this kind of like tone of really reaching our students through SEL skills. I do have to say, this entire chat was like this. It seemed like every single question just really struck a nerve with educators and allowed us to just collaborate and share. And the hope would be either that you grab 15 new things that you're going to go do, maybe in a few different areas of your classroom, or just one strategy that gets you a little bit closer to being more successful in this area. And it's not about being perfect in our SEL, but it's about making sure these are integrated into every single moment of our instruction. And it's not going to necessarily be easy if you're just starting out, but little bite-sized pieces. It's totally possible. And there was so many bite-sized pieces in this chat, Sarah. It was amazing.
Well, thank you. And I think that your point about, it being perfect is really important, that when we think about social emotional learning, this should be a process. This should be a journey. This is a continuum, and we've never arrived. We are never experts. We are never certified emotionally intelligent educators and leaders and human beings. We all make mistakes. And part of what social emotional learning is reflecting on those mistakes and harnessing them for growth. So to think that we will ever be perfect in this area is just not what social emotional learning is about.
Hey, that is the teach better mindset, literally right there. A little bit better today than you were yesterday, and a little bit better tomorrow than you were today. That's it. We're just all trying to be better. And this chat definitely helped us out. Sarah, I do want to make sure that we're respectful of your time. You just had a whirlwind of an hour. I know there's a lot of prep that goes in to preparing for a Twitter chat. And now we have you live. I want to make sure that our Teach Better family, whether they're watching this live with us now or they watch it in a few hours or even later this week, that they have the ability to connect with you. So would you mind sharing how they can obviously connect with you on Twitter, but maybe a website or anything else that they can go check out, explore more? Maybe they could also direct message you if they have questions about any of the resources you've shared.
Absolutely. So my Twitter is at Sarah, Sara_Lahane, LAHAYNE. I also encourage you to follow Move This World on Twitter, which is at move_this world, which offers hundreds of free resources to strengthen social emotional wellness in pre-K through 12th grade classrooms and also for families. And you can also learn more about the audio network and those podcasts there on movethisworld.com.
All right, Sarah, I have one final question for you. And I always love to ask our hosts this. So I am putting you a little bit on the spot. If you had one takeaway, just one, that you wanted people to walk away with for this Twitter chat, like maybe they, popped in for a few minutes, maybe they were there for the entire hour conversation. What was your hope that they kind of walked away from this chat thinking? What was it? Maybe an idea or something you hope they took away from this conversation?
There's so much. I don't know how to solidify one thing, but I think kind of what I was mentioning earlier is that this is a journey, this is a process, and this is fluid. And we don't practice social emotional learning from 2 to 3 p.m. and then we shut our computers or shut our notebooks and then move on with our days. We don't practice social emotional learning from 10 to 10:30. These moments need to be baked into how we interact with our colleagues, how we interact with our families, how we interact and support our students, because without doing that, it's very hard to build a habit and build a practice. And that's what this really needs to be for us to be able to take care of ourselves and navigate these really stressful times, is embody and embrace this as a lifestyle and as a practice.
Ugh. Sarah, I am such a fan. I could literally talk to you for hours. I love this topic. It's an area I'm personally working on, not only for myself, but in my own classroom with my 6th graders. And I just so appreciate that you joined our Teach Better family, although you've been a part of our family for a while, but joined Mastery Chat specifically tonight to facilitate this conversation because it was so needed. And I'm so happy that we were able to at least begin a little bit of these conversations that will obviously continue for weeks and months and years beyond as we continue to support our students in these areas. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, for everyone else, we will see you later. Sarah, we're going to stick right here for just a second. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful Thursday. Happy Mastery Chat night, and have an even better Friday. Conclude the year or the week strong, because even though there's a weekend coming, we're not done yet. So continue to bring your energy for students, continue to ask questions, and we are always here to help, not only as the Teach Better team, but Sarah and everybody else in the Teach Better family. We are here to support you. So thank you guys so much. See you later.